My name is Haley DeMassimo, and today I'll be speaking about functionalism. So, question, what is functionalism? Functionalism is one of three major perspectives in sociology, and it was originally from the works of Emile Durkheim. So, functionalists define society as a system of interrelated but interdependent parts. They use the human body as an analogy because everything functions together, but it all works together to maintain the body, just like social order maintains society. So just like the body parts, each of society's parts are interdependent and function to maintain the larger system. So according to functionalists, what does function mean to them? They define it as a contribution a part makes to the existing social order, or social order. It's the way people have organized interaction and other activities to achieve some valued goal, whether that be taking care of others or even just sharing knowledge. So now I'm going to be discussing manifest and latent functions. Manifests are something that is expected. So with sports, they bring people together, whether they have different races or even different genders. Latent functions, something unexpected of sports, is actually that when sports teams do well in like collegiate level basketball or football, their enrollments actually increase by around 8%, which that's pretty crazy. Also, the one thing that I don't like about functionalism is how much it downplays the individual over society. Although we all are born into society and the parts, it should think about people more and not the parts. So along with the functions, manifest and latent also have dysfunctions. So some of those would be with sports teams. Something that you don't expect, but it happens, is when teams riot. And that usually happens because of bitter rivalries between teams and people just can't live it down. A latent dysfunction of sports would be something like steroid use or even playing with injuries that you shouldn't play with. But altogether, these parts contribute to maintain social order because it reminds people how important it is for the cohesion and morality of just basically getting along. Now, switching up gears, I'm going to talk about how this theory relates to the structure of family life. So the valued social functions of family life include all these right here, and we're going to discuss them on the next slide. So, one thing that families do for functionalists is their view of supporting social order, is that they regulate sexual behavior. Families make it known to their children that it is wrong to have relations with your family members, and they don't want a minor and an adult together either. They also replace the members of society who die. So when your family member dies, a new baby is born, and the ways of past family members are recreated, essentially. Also, another view of family life is that family socializes the young. So this is you're ever being exposed basically to what is right and what is wrong and the rules of life. Also, families help most of the time to provide care and emotional support. We as humans require meaningful social ties to other people. It's just our species. And lastly, families confer our social status. Although we might not like it, we get our genetics from them. And we also are considered into racial categories depending on what color skin our parents give us. And also our social class. Our parents' incomes and occupations, they're really important predictors of the chances and experiences we're going to get throughout our lives. So if I had to do this again, would I pick this theory? I probably wouldn't. It didn't really relate to me and how I look at the world, but I feel that symbolic interaction does, and I'm all about positive and meaningful social interaction. And I feel like symbolic interaction, since it's about interaction, it's more about the individual than things at large. And wrapping it up, I think that functionalism is a good perspective in theory, but for me, like I said before, it downplays way too much of the organization. It downplays the individual way too much, and it overplays the organization of society. And lastly, for things like family structures and sports teams, like I discussed throughout my PowerPoint, I think functionalism does have the right approach. Here are my works cited, and I hope you enjoyed learning about functionalism.